It's so hard to convince people to look at men's rights activism and support it without first allowing them to at least escape the stranglehold that feminism has on their minds. I do believe it is dogma. It's zealotry. That system is based on hate, and hate is, in my opinion, hate is the most destructive force in the world. Or an open source society where contribution is encouraged, as it would increase your well-being as well as others, where the complex environmental sources of human behaviour are understood instead of assuming in a contradicting manner that people have free will but choose to be violent and it's simply human nature to be evil and competitive.
To this day, I find it remarkable that anybody, even at the most remote podunk field office of the FBI, thought that a fitting use for taxpayer dollars was investigating people for criminal theft on the grounds that they had made the law public. How can you call yourself a lawman and think that there can possibly be anything wrong in this whole world with making the law public?
Humanity requires nothing less than us working together to solve our problems, being aligned to Mother Nature and therefore sustainable. It is up to you. I have a foreboding of an America in my children's or my grandchildren's time when the United States is a service and information economy, when nearly all the manufacturing industries have slipped away to other countries, where the awesome technological powers are in the hands of a very few, and no one representing the public interest can even grasp the issues. When the people have lost the ability to set their own agendas or knowledgeably question those in authority, when, clutching our crystals and nervously consulting our horoscopes, our critical faculties in decline, unable to distinguish between what feels good and what's true, we slide, almost without noticing, back into superstition and darkness. Contrary to prevailing philosophical mythology, moral behaviour isn't just about people's individual nature, their education, parenting, peers, social bonds, personal intentions, or other such factors commonly discussed concerning a person's character. This mythology, that morality is only about individual behaviour, ignores the incredible stress-inducing pressure placed upon a civilization that is based upon its members fighting with each other to survive. In such a world, ethical behaviour, as we traditionally consider it, is severely limited in its capacity for expression. It isn't that people aren't capable of a more caring, compassionate, helpful, and socially respectful behaviour. It is that the socio-economic system won't support it. In fact, I would argue that the more ethical you are, the more likely you are to fail in the game of commerce. The system simply doesn't support real human compassion on a sociological level. It isn't designed to. Our entire system, in an economic sense, is based on restriction. Scarcity and inefficiency are the movers of money, and the more there is of any resource, the less you can charge for it. The more problems there are, the more opportunities there are to make money. This reality is a social disease, for people can actually gain off the misery of others, and the destruction of the environment. Efficiency, abundance, and sustainability are the enemies of our economic structure, for they are inverse to the mechanics required to perpetuate consumption. This is profoundly critical to understand, for once you put this together, you begin to see that the 1 billion people currently starving on this planet, the endless slums of the poor, and all the horrors of a culture due to poverty and pravity are not natural phenomenon due to some natural human order or lack of earthly resources. They are the products of the creation, perpetuation, and preservation of artificial scarcity and inefficiency. The problem with today's world is that everyone believes that they have the right to express their opinion and have others listen to it. The correct statement of individual rights is that everyone has the right to an opinion, but crucially, that opinion can be roundly ignored and even made fun of, particularly if it is demonstrably nonsense.